Today I'm going to briefly talk about a conference that took place earlier this year at a Russian university. And the title of the panel discussion is Economy of Trust. Now, this appears to be just another typical boring academic conference, but what makes it worth commenting on is not only the topic that's being discussed, trust in the economy, but also that the three speakers at the conference are influential decision makers in Russia. And so it's important to understand their mindset and the claims that they're making. I'll be sure to put a link of this video down below. Again, the topic being discussed in this video that I'm going to comment on here is trust in the economy. But what's mainly being pushed forward in the discussion is institutional integration. They're making the case that growth of the Russian economy depends on integrating with the emerging global or international system of institutions, because what they claim is that this system, with its high-tech digital platform and AI platforms, produces a much higher level of institutional trust than does the Russian system. Now, it's important to understand that one of the key assumptions that underlies traditional Western economics is that institutions are neutral fields, which essentially means that institutions have no particular bias or direction to them. And so then the question becomes, which institutions are most desirable or are the most valuable? And the inevitable answer tends to be those that generate the most economic growth. What you'll hear in this video is that the speakers also hold this view without question. They seem to agree with the assumptions of the Western model of growth. So we'll take a look at a few of the clips. They're short, but by the way, you'll hear an interpreter. An interpretation is going on here. So let's take a look at a few of the clips and hear what they have to say.
Objective process, and we're going to follow it. We're going again to try and revive the security relationships, including the cyber security. We're going to have new trading treaties, national, international, the global one. We'll have new financial institutions, which in terms of these very complex transactions which pass through the digital institutions, the world is going to inevitably follow that path. It won't close in on itself, because that will be wrought with stepping back or lagging behind the progress. So one must fully be able to fit into this trend. Svetlana.
Okay. Next.
Alexey very nicely put it.
Oh, sorry. Next.
Alexey very nicely put it. Investing into the institutions is much cheaper than, generating loss from the mistrust, because the Moscow State Economic Department in spring, we did the estimate that based on the European data and in the autumn in terms of what is going on in Russia, there is a substitution effect taking place. These new institutions of trust, they are growing, and they are displacing the traditional government institutions as service providers. You won't imagine where the government starts to lose. The policing and judicial functions effectively are being done by these platforms. The most ineffective public institutions, they are the first ones to diminish, and the government will have to do something about it, because as it turns out, the fair wind blowing in our sails, and the trust continues to go because of the reasons that new institutions, new technologies appear, and such an institutional provocation comes to the forefront, that something has to be done to the national system. The public servants will have to really do something about it, because based upon our surveys, the level of trust to the Russian government, 49%, to the private digital services, 59%. So institutional competition, that's what we're dealing with now.
Okay, and finally?
To, do the bullet points in terms of what I see a priority. First of all, I do agree that the level of institutional trust, which in Russia is quite low, based upon the Edelman survey, we've got about 26%, while in China it's 70%, and there's indeed such an enormous gap, and that considerably affects our GDP growth, because that...
Okay, there you have it. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, here are some important things that they should have brought up as priorities. First of all, do you trust in the productive capacity of the Russian Christian culture and people? If you do, then it's crucial as a strategic starting point to identify what the common moral good is. And then you should ask, what institutional system will best encourage and uphold that good? Will it be a system of institutional integration, or perhaps one of interdependence? See, you think you want this integration, but you don't. It's a trap. So beware, Russia, of these so-called new institutions of trust.